Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Play Action Podcast, episode number 51. I am Will, and I got Colton here. Colton, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. Well, I had a great Halloween, dude. I can't really complain. I had a nice Halloween. As you can tell, folks, change of scenery today. Kind of been put in the Wi-Fi situation. So
The
here,
weirdest situation that has ever happened.
yeah, tanker situation on a road by my house. Decided to take out all of the Wi-Fi in my neighborhood. So here I am on the road here at my girlfriend's house. So not the Steelers background, but again, I mean, a lot of people hate the Steelers, so this might be a background better choosing for a lot of people that watch this. But yeah, man, happy Halloween to all, and man, happy Halloween to the Cincinnati Bengals. You did the game.
Oh
I mean,
my
how was
God.
that? I mean, we got plenty to talk about involved in that, but I just seriously want to start off the show. I got a rock and I got a W this weekend, and yeah, Mike White. Yeah, I mean, geez.
Mike F. and White. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Mike F. and White. I might have to replace my Geno jersey over here on my Washington football team cutout that I got from their playoff game many moons ago. But that game was a crazy game to cut. I had 6 can't miss plays for NFL.com on that game. So that was honestly crazy because I've been rushing to get through all this stuff, and then there's touchdowns happening on top of them. It was a crazy week for me, at least for working. But it was fun. It was fun to say the least.
It was worth it, wasn't it? I'm sitting there watching the Steelers game, and I'm like, I'm loving that the Jets are keeping this close. I'm like, make them stink it out here, the Bengals. And all of a sudden, I look down and I see Jets scored. I'm like, holy crap, they're up with like 3 minutes left. I'm like, oh god, let this game end, please. Whoop, flip down the Jets. Thank you, ex-Steeler Mike Hilton. Love the penalty. Was it a little sus? Of course, but I don't care. We've gotten plenty of calls not called this season. Last game against the Browns, pass interference, please call them. But oh gosh, happy Halloween to all. Well,
this was a spooky week in the NFL to say the least. Our predictions went down the drain. I don't even want to bring those up, but we're gonna have to bring them up. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in wherever you're listening to, and this is the Play Action Podcast.
This is the Play Action Podcast featuring Will.
In the past 150 days, you didn't ever decide to sit down in your damn desk and be like, hey, let's game plan this playbook. Pardon my French, but goddamn, you are an idiot, Matt Nagy.
Featuring Colin.
Good job, Bill. Golly. What a dope. You missed Brady. You made a mistake. Come out and say you messed up. Golly.
I love whenever I watch these intros, and it's always the shirt I'm wearing. That's what I love the most. It puts a smile on my face knowing that, like, hey, I'm wearing that shirt right now. How about you just break out some other attire, you dingus?
I just realized how many times I said, what the heck did I say there? A ton. I just had it, and I just had a brain fart. I said a ton, like the same word.
Good job, Bill. Jeez Louise. Well, you say jeez Louise a lot.
That might have been it. There was something in that clip, and I just laughed because, like, I'm used to our old one, not this one, and you're usually just kind of like arguing with me. This one, you're like into it. So I love this one for you because, like, you don't usually show your fierceness and like your anger. You're kind of just letting me freaking blow off steam because I'm the lunatic in this pretty much, and that's why I appreciate the new clip. It shows your anger. You got it in you. Sometimes
I do.
Pry it out of you, but it's there. And geez, what an exciting weekend. What do we got, Will? What do we got on tap?
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Play Action Podcast. Retweet, follow, favorite, whatever you want to do with the show. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitch page, Twitter page. If you're not following, just follow because there's a bunch of content that gets cranked out weekly on here. So make sure you drop a like on wherever you're listening, watching, and whatnot. And this has been a weird week, to say the least. So let's kind of break down into it all. So Odell Beckham Jr. appears to be on his way out of Cleveland, as today he was sent home for practice, and he thinks he's going to be playing on Sunday. Whoever the Browns are playing, I think they're playing the Bengals. But very large and weird situation to look at, especially with Odell's dad yesterday coming out and saying, oh, hey, my son doesn't get the ball, this and that, yada, yada, yada. He's just been kind of breaking it down. It's been all weird. It's a weird situation. As let me get this thing up on here. Here we go. So, the Saints and the Raiders appear to be interested in Odell Beckham, as we know right now, and he could be cut in the coming days. The trade deadline obviously passed. He was one of the names that were brought up, but it was a very loose brought up part for the trade deadline. Now it's passed. Odell's dad kind of ripped the Browns a new one, Baker Mayfield a new one, saying, you don't pass my son the ball, this and that. And now we are here. So what are your thoughts, your ideas on Odell Beckham situation, where he was at one point a top 5 receiver in the league? Now he's doesn't really look a better part of a top 50 player in this league. Well, top 50 wide receiver in this league.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy where his downfall has come in the demise of Odell Beckham. And honestly, I don't really blame him for a lot of it, because I know people were like, the way he was in New York, he talked a lot, did a lot of stupid things. Still one of the most underrated things was the antics against Josh Norman when he played Carolina. We talk about Myles Garrett, how Garrett should have been suspended more for using his helmet the way he did on Rudolph. If you go back and watch that as a neutral fan, dude, he was clearly going to hurt Josh Norman, flying in with his head. But he's changed. And for not getting the ball and the targets as he should be in Cleveland, I think he's been a good citizen there. Again, his father doing the old high school Pop Warner, Little League stuff, play my kid, play my kid. That's what his father's doing. It's kind of stupid and churlish, as the Key and Peele like to say there. But yeah, he's valuable. You cut him, and I kind of understand. He wants to prove they can play. A lot of people have doubted him that he can't play. He doesn't have the juice anymore. He just has that catch to his name. That's it. I think Odell can still play. He needs the opportunity to go out and shine a little bit. This is the limitations of Baker Mayfield. It is. Again, Baker didn't play bad Sunday. I mean, I watched it. Jarvis Landry had probably the worst game I've ever seen Jarvis Landry have. The fumble, a ton of huge drops for the Browns. I was glad. I was all in for the taking of it. But the fact that Odell got 2 targets and the one, I get people he should have caught it. Yeah, it was in the middle of traffic. Sometimes you make career choices there. And I know Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless kind of ran with that one, that Odell should have caught that ball. Yeah, he was going to get rocked. Who says he holds on to it? I don't know. They got a 15-yard penalty on roughing the passer. I don't know. Will, what are your thoughts on what's going on with Odell here?
I think Odell just wants to get out of there. I mean, if and when he does get cut, because they signed him for a ridiculous amount of time too. He was already went to Cleveland with that extension he got from New York before he got traded, and then he got another extension apparently right on top of that. I'm drawing a blank when that extension happened, but he has a lot of money tied to his name in Cleveland, a lot.
Yeah, and the problem is if they cut him, I think it was 20-something million in dead cap. It's a big number for a wide receiver. I know the Steelers had to deal with the dead cap situation, getting Antonio Brown out of Pittsburgh. Ironically, we may have another situation in AFC North with a receiver in dead cap. So it's not a good look, and the father should have stayed out of it. I think Odell's kind of been good about it, to be honest. I'm also not in the locker room, and a lot of people aren't, but media-wise, you would think Odell's tweeting out, yo, give me the ball, pissed off in, post-game. He's kind of been the good soldier there, so I don't know, man. It's a really interesting situation. See what happens. He plans to play Sunday.
I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work either, but we'll see what the Browns do with him. They cut him. A team's going to get a lot better, especially with Michael Thomas being ruled out for the season. I think that makes. I mean, we're going to get into our power rankings. I'll save it for then on the Saints, because I got a very mixed feeling on the Saints, and they just keep proving me wrong. So we'll see when we get back.
Baker Mayfield was, and an apology from Odell. Yeah, take any sort of conversation, want to go a long way. This and that. I just got to pull up a video here of Baker explaining himself really to. Let's see. I just got to make sure I get the right one there. Here we go. All righty. Very, very bad, but here we go. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but we'll try the best of our ability. Yeah, this is not very loud.
Yeah, it's kind of quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. This was kind of a dud kind of one. But if and when Odell gets cut, where do you see him going into just a different place. The Raiders do make sense of Henry Ruggs, and we'll get to that in a couple minutes. And also the Saints, if they can sign him to like a veteran's minimum, which is really all he's going to get at this point in the year. Is there anywhere else besides those two that need like a true number one?
Chiefs make a ton of sense.
For the Chiefs.
You see, I don't disagree, but Mahomes has looked bad. And I think it's the receivers not helping out. Like, no offense, like Hardman's fun and all, he's fast. Robinson, the same thing. Josh Gordon clearly doesn't look up to the standard of what Josh Gordon was bouncing in and out of the league. He makes a ton of sense for the Chiefs, dude. Especially getting him cheap. And if he's healthy, this is probably the healthiest he's been in a long time. I know he's still a little bit banged up. I think he's got a shoulder issue.
Yeah.
So he's not as healthy, but at least it's not his legs. It's nothing like a soft tissue injury, which he's kind of dealt with for a long time the past few seasons. It's kind of been his hamstring, his groin. He's been in and out of the lineup for a long time now. So this has kind of been the healthiest he's been. He's kind of been full go early in the season, but Browns pumped the brakes with him. So he wants to get out and play, and I don't blame him. And this isn't the offense suited for him. It's a run-first offense with Hunt and Chubb and Dearness Johnson while we're at it now. That's kind of what this team is, and Baker's very limited to an extent, but he played well this weekend. He needs to get out and somewhere and shine like Odell is, and Kansas City makes a ton of sense to team up with Tyreek Hill so he's not getting doubled, and Odell's fast, so they can literally take the shots with Odell as well. So Kansas City is a team that comes to mind front and center, other than the teams that were mentioned. Clearly, the Raiders are a big one that kind of need a receiver now to pair up with Renfro and Waller.
And now let's move into one of the more surprising stories, too, because this was just an action-packed news day all around. But Aaron Rodgers is now out for this Sunday against the Kansas Chiefs due to COVID-19. So Jordan Love will get his first career NFL start against the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is a surprising one, to say the least. He's not vaccinated, but he did have a lot of arguments trying to do some other stuff that's not vaccinated to get his antibodies up. But the NFL had since declined that option of treatment, and now he's going to be sitting on the COVID reserve list till at least November 13th, which is the next Saturday. I don't really know what to think of with this, because this is just a very bizarre situation, to say the least.
I feel like this is also another reason Aaron Rodgers kind of wants out of Green Bay situation. I know a lot of people are kind of playing that card. Like he just doesn't care about Green Bay. Like this is kind of where his thoughts are on it. Like I just don't care. But at the same time, everyone has their choice on the vaccine. He's also not cared about not having the vaccine. Like he's literally done everything you're not supposed to do. Like in meetings and stuff, you're supposed to have your mask on the sideline, your mask on, like Carson Wentz, Lamar Jackson, those guys. Aaron Rodgers is not. He's always out there, no mask, just hanging around, doing his thing. I mean, he was at a Halloween party this weekend. That's pretty much just probably where it came from. So you got to be better. You got to know better when you're, a franchise quarterback and a team that's looking to do damage in the NFC, like the Packers look like they're ready to do. Not a good look from your Hall of Fame franchise quarterback, and this might be a signal like, yeah, I don't really care about the Packers, or I just don't care about football. So I don't know. It's really weird. It's not something you expect from a guy like Rodgers, but if you've paid attention to this season, I didn't know he wasn't vaccinated. Now it kind of makes a ton of sense. He has not cared about anything going on. Again, folks, drop your questions. We have Twitter open. I know questions don't pop up on the StreamYard for us, so I have it open, waiting for questions.
That's why we got Colton here.
That's right. So if you got any questions,
Twitter connoisseur.
That's right. Drop them on the show. We'll definitely get to it. But yeah, this whole thing with Rodgers is really weird. What are your thoughts?
Well, if you have him fantasy, I feel really sorry, because you think, oh my God, he's going to put up 30, 40. You're thinking maybe 50 points, historic fantasy day. Now he's out. Now you're kind of like, oh no. Packer fans are like, oh no. Aaron Rodgers. I got sent a text this morning like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is such a dumbass for getting COVID and all that. But you can't blame the guys. These are all grown adults. You can't tell them like, hey, here's what to do. This is what to do. Like, listen, if they want to follow all the protocols, let them follow the protocols. But at the same time, you're just hoping they follow it. You can't really be like, you got to follow them around with like a ruler, kind of smack them every time they're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
But
but well, this is what the weird thing is. Again, you can't blame the guys like you said, but I don't know. I'm vaccinated. I've gone on some vacations during COVID. All this, I've gone to Florida multiple times during this whole COVID situation. Um, and knock on wood, I haven't gotten it. I'm vaccinated. I've been safe about doing what I'm doing. I'm not saying that's also luck. That also might be luck on my side as far as that goes, but sometimes people are just blatantly arrogant and just don't care. Like, I get it, You know, it is what it is, and this might have been the situation with Rodgers because, again, it's just where it makes no sense. I couldn't imagine being an NFL player. Like when we get into our next situation, those families involved, God bless them, but I couldn't imagine being like a guy making millions of dollars for playing one game on the weekend and to blow it away because I just want to go out and party. You can still go out and do your things. Be smart about it. But if you want to be dumb like Aaron Rodgers just was, and I know a lot of Steelers coaches like, oh, I don't want this guy as my quarterback anymore. Stop it. That's silly. That's silly. I'll still gladly take Aaron Rodgers. But it's just dumb by Rodgers here. You know, big game this weekend. And I'm also pissed as a Steeler fan because Kansas City now looks like they're getting a nice cakewalk with Jordan Love this weekend. Go figure. Hopefully I'm wrong. And it's like the Arizona game last week. Just not a good look. And you put your franchise in a spot. Jordan Love isn't ready. We'll see if he's ready. It's time to put up or shut up. You're drafted high for a reason, and Rodgers wasn't too pleased about drafting him. See what happens here. Let's go.
And now kind of the more heartfelt situations here. Henry Ruggs was in a massive car accident Tuesday morning over in Las Vegas. Almost said Los Angeles, but Las Vegas, to where one person lost their life, and thoughts and prayers out to their family, as this is just a very bizarre situation where he drove his car 156 miles an hour. 2 seconds before it crashed, the airbags deployed at 127 miles an hour on impact with the car. One person's dead. An animal was in the car, which was also dead. Fire erupted. Very disturbing TMZ videos, which we're not going to play on here, showed him just watching the fire just burn as he's just sitting out of his car, just watching it. Loaded gun in the car, too. No license with that. Blood alcohol content 2 times the legal limit. And this is his mugshot. He was in court today, neck brace, wheelchair, and all. Just, this is a messed up situation, to say the least. This is just disturbing.
Yeah, it's plain stupid is what it is also. Again, God bless the families involved because lives are ruined. It's a damn shame. I believe the woman that died was like 23 or 28.
23.
That is like, it's just, oh my God, I couldn't imagine, man.
You're getting ready to work. You're working an early morning thing, and then all of a sudden, just your life's gone because you got someone that's not really using their head. In a world where, there's Lyfts, there's Ubers,
you're an NFL player.
Horse carriages, like wherever you are, there's a place for you to go from point A to point B.
I need a ride. Someone in this area, give me a ride, please, to my house. I guarantee any freaking Raider fan would, holy crap, I'll be there. I'll pick them up. Like anyone, and like you said, the NFL has systems where these players can get, like, if you wouldn't call anyone in the Raiders organization, and if they're up, they will come pick him up instead of making this stupid mistake like he did. And everyone's like, people make mistakes. No, I've never had the audacity in my life to sit here. I'm going to drink and drive. I'm 24 and I'm not making millions of dollars in the NFL. Like, that's another thing. I'm not stupid enough to do it. How are you in the NFL making that much money and have it, like, you're literally going to be set for life. You play for freaking 10 years, 8 years, whatever. And if you invest your money, you're going to be set for life. You don't have to do a thing in your life again. But you want to be stupid and ruin your life and someone else's life. I don't know if it's because he's like, I'm the NFL, if I wreck my car, something, whatever, I'll get off, I'll, get a slap on the wrist, whatever. It is so stupid when the NFL does this thing. And then I know other like outlets and stuff are going to be like, oh, look, the NFL, another, bad player, look what he's doing. It's not the NFL's fault. The NFL has a good surrounding for these guys in and out. If they want to go out and party, they have situations, and usually the teams do as well. This is just a mess, and it's embarrassing, and it's just a damn shame because, gosh, a 23-year-old lost her life, another life ruined here in Henry Rugg. It's just, be smarter, people. Like, sometimes, like, seriously, use your head. Like, I don't care how drunk I am. I'm not getting in my vehicle and driving 156 miles per hour. I don't care how nice my car is. Like, cool, man, I'm going to go fast. Like, well, I don't know what your thoughts are on it. It's just wild how someone could be this stupid. It's like I've seen some people on like Twitter, like, he made a mistake. No, he didn't make a mistake. He made it like this is stupid. It's not just like a simple mistake. People make mistakes. This isn't a mistake. This cost someone's life, and someone young, 23 years old, lost their life because of this guy's stupidity. And he put his girlfriend's life on the line. Like, well, I could really go on a rant about this. I don't know what your thoughts. I don't want to eat up all this time because it's ridiculous.
Well, he got cut from the Raiders early Wednesday morning in court. He faces anywhere between 2 to 20 years behind bars because in the state of Nevada, a DUI is charged with, a death in a DUI is also charged with, loss of license up to 3 years. If he's found guilty, he's going to jail regardless. So his NFL career, it's done. It's done to say the least, and that's kind of a damn shame. But you just gotta be smarter, man. There's so many places too. You see all these people like, hey, don't drink and drive. Here's an Uber. Just call an Uber, call a Lyft. People will literally pay for you to get a Lyft to wherever they want to go. Wherever they want to go. People will honestly pay to go take an Uber, take a Lyft, whatever. Horse carriage, buggy ride. I don't even know what's out in Las Vegas. Okay, that's one of the places I want to go to, but there's so many things that, someone will take you to point A to point B if you're unwell. And, this is just a example for everyone. Just, hey, be smarter, man. Okay. Just at least have some judgment moving forward. And it's a shame. Now the Raiders kind of had two, things going on with their team this year with John Gruden and now this whole situation. Top target gone, a nice rising star in the NFL is gone. This is just very unfortunate.
Yeah, straight in prison. My boy Al out here popping questions on Twitter. Straight in prison. That's where he's going, and rightfully so. And someone else commented in here, it kind of disappeared. He's an idiot, and he is. It's a shame, but it's stupid. Like if you literally were to ask any other person, you're not doing this. Like you're not going to be this dumb and risking your life and someone that you think you care about in your girlfriend's life. Going 156 miles per hour and just ruining your career. And again, you ruin someone's life and a family's life. And it's a shame. And I don't want to dwell on it too much because there's a lot of good in the NFL, but it just has to be talked about. They have so many options, these players, for things like this going out. It's just a damn shame. It really is. And yeah, that's kind of it, man. Because I could sit here and talk about it all day long because it's a damn shame. It really is.
Exactly. Well, let's move over to the trade deadline that ended yesterday at 4 p.m. And we had a couple of decent trades. I got to say, there were a lot of decent trades. I mean, the blockbuster trade, Von Miller, now an LA Ram, and now he's negotiating a contract extension with the Rams. I don't know what money they have, but I think they're taking a loan from the government in order to make that extension happen. Because, he still plays really well. Denver acquires a second and third round selections for Von Miller, who signed a 1-year deal for this year, and then whatever was going to happen after was going to happen. But I don't know. What would you rate that trade? Would you rate that as a good trade for both parties or just one-sided?
It's a good trade for both parties. Denver was only going to get probably a third-round pick, a comp pick if he left in free agency. Now they get another pick and a second. Sounds pretty good to me for a guy they were going to lose. And it's a good trade for the Rams. I mean, geez, you get another guy to team up with Aaron Donald on that defensive line and Jalen Ramsey still in the back end. That's great. I mean, Von Miller has been a little bit quiet this season. That's probably because he's getting doubled like he usually does when he's been in Denver. But it's a good trade for the Rams. See what happens. I mean, they're going all in, just like trading for Matthew Stafford. The Rams are all in on a Super Bowl run here and like winning it, not getting there like they did with Jared Goff. They're all in on winning this thing.
And, well, I mean, there's plenty of other ones, too. I'm drawing a blank on one. But your Steelers traded Melvin Ingram to Kansas City for a 6th-round selection, 2 on Monday. But that wasn't really talked about that much as, Von Miller kind of absorbed the news for really what was the rest of Monday. I think that would be a fair trade, but, I mean, that's not going to help him on back-end stuff for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the trade as a Steelers fan myself. I would have kept him for a 6th-round draft pick. I know the Steelers kind of needed some late round picks. I know they're going to get a few comp picks. I saw that pop up on our Steeler Nation stuff. But I don't like trading him to a contender in Kansas City. And I say contender as in a team that's going to be fighting for a wild card, which it looks like the Steelers are kind of figuring it out, figuring stuff out. And that's where the Steelers are probably going to be fighting. The AFC North is loaded. I'll get to that a little bit later. But that's where the Steelers are probably going. It's probably the wild card unless a miracle happens and they stay hot and, see what happens. But now you're sending a guy to a team that needed defense and a guy who's good. Melvin Ingram's good. I know he said his comments that he thinks he's better than Highsmith. And to be honest, he kind of has played better than Highsmith at moments this year. But Highsmith's a guy the Steelers have a lot of high praise on, and they should because, what he did last year and filling in for Bud Dupree as a rookie out of Charlotte, he's been great. And I understand the Steelers trying to get him more playing time because he needs it. Only way we're going to get better is getting play time. But I just don't like trading a guy like Melvin Ingram to Kansas City, which a team that needs, help on the line and help defensively in general. And a team you're going to be playing later on in the season. So I just hope this doesn't bite Pittsburgh in the rear end. It's a good trade for Kansas City, for sure.
And Kansas City wasn't done, too. They traded away one of their guards, a doctor in Canada. I'm not even going to pronounce his name because I'm going to butcher it so badly. But Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, right? Did I say that right?
You're in the ballpark. The thing is, I haven't. Has he played this year?
He has played this year. Yeah. Not a lot, but he's played. But the Jets acquire him for an exchange for tight end Daniel Brown, who was a third string tight end for the Jets.
It's a good trade for the Jets. More offensive line help, and a guy who started in the Super Bowl, I believe.
He was a starter in the Super Bowl 2 years ago when they played the 49ers.
So it's a good trade for the Jets. Third string tight end, kind of interesting there for Kansas City.
They do have a guard. They do have a guard that they drafted later in the draft who is now the starter right now, and they also have Creed Humphreys from Oklahoma, they're killing it right now on the offensive line.
Boomer Sooner, but yeah, it's
Boomer Sooner. Horns down. Get Josh in here.
Oh gosh, but yeah, it's a good trade. There was a lot of solid trades at the deadline. The NFL trade deadline is always the funniest because it's always overhyped. Like Fletcher Cox's name was thrown out there by the Eagles. He doesn't get moved. Odell's name got tossed out there. There's a bunch of names that got tossed out. Like, oh gosh, here we go. Big trade deadline. And it's always a dud.
It's never like NBA or hockey where it's like they just throw away first round picks like they're just bags of potato chips. They just give everything.
Stars get moved though in the NBA. Like there's always like a star or two. It's like, holy crap, this team's a legit contender now. Like last year, Iguodala going to the Heat, and there are some other players. I'm just forgetting. It's so condensed in football, but you always have the NBA deadline where it's like, I always love watching the jump. It's not the jump anymore. And you got the friggin' cannons going off. They'll smash the button, trade. So, NFL is always kind of a dud. It's always overhyped. But hey,
Eagles trade for Kerry Vincent Jr. They gave away a 6th round pick for a guy that was selected in the 7th round. Has not played a single snap yet in the NFL. So the Broncos have already exceeded their value for a player that hasn't really touched the field at all. And they're already dealing with injuries with Bryce Callahan, who appeared on the injury report.
Fuller as well at the deadline. They were trying to trade him. There's a few, that's what's interesting. When you got guys like Fuller and Fletcher Cox, I wonder what the price tag was for both those guys. Clearly Fletcher Cox a little bit more. I think the Eagles saw Fletcher Cox. Von Miller get traded. And we'll take a 2nd round pick for Fletcher Cox here. And I think that's kind of what happened. And I know the Steelers were, after they traded Ingram, they wanted defensive line help. So I guarantee the Steelers kicked the tires on Fletcher Cox to team up with Cam Hayward, who's having the best season of his career. And it didn't happen that way. But again, the NFL draft or NFL trade deadline is always overhyped. And it was again. We did see a nice move in Von Miller to the Rams, which locked up possibly a team to win it all in my Super Bowl pick in the LA Rams.
Well, let's look at really our power rankings. Usually we got a PowerPoint, but Cole and I have just been really busy the last couple of days, so we haven't been able to like sit down and make them. So yeah, a very nice like audio version of our picks. We usually like to make, fun little PowerPoints, kind of display them for everyone. Obviously, we're going to start out with number 32 here, the Detroit Lions. The Lions have been the worst team in the league, which they've been playing good for a bad team. That doesn't make sense. But if you understand it, that's probably the correct statement you could put for Detroit. They're good for a bad team.
I'm over it. I fell into the trap.
Every time you say, like, every time you pick the Lions, they get blown out. So I'm going to ask you to not do that ever again, because I kind of want them to win a game at some point.
Oh, I'll gladly take them against the Steelers, because I want to see them get blown out by Pittsburgh in 2 weeks.
They're going to win that game.
Bro, if they win that game, I'm literally never coming back. You'll never speak to me again. If I go to Pittsburgh and I see the Steelers lose to the Detroit Lions, you're going to find me in the Allegheny River with cement blocks around my legs. So good luck finding me, dude. I might drop my pin where I jumped, so just be aware.
Number 31, we picked the Houston Texans as number 31. Davis Mills has kind of led this team to a mess start, but Tyrod's expected to be back either this week or next week, so that's a very good coming sight for the Houston Texans. What do we got at 30, Colton?
Yeah, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, that dumpster fire. I picked them as an upset this week over Seattle.
Geno Smith, baby. Geno Smith.
Yeah, and Seattle decided to throw the ball this weekend. Didn't see that one coming. Tyler Lockett.
Geno Smith. I got the jersey right there.
Oh, stop it. The guy's garbage.
Apparently not. Over 80% completion percentage.
Stop it. Jacksonville. Stop it. Why are
they couldn't score. They couldn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter, and they made Seattle's defense look like supreme.
Yeah, this is what I get for picking the Jags.
And then Homer in the Odyssey returns that weird onside kick for a touchdown.
Oh, gosh. That's just what happens when it's a bad football game. Well, it's just stupid stuff happens, and it's one of those things. It's why it's been a bad betting season. Like, I thought that was like nice. I'm like, Jags. They played decent, and they lose James Robinson in that game, and it's been a dumpster fire.
What do we got at 29?
We got the New York Football Giants. Yeah, it's just they should be higher, but to be honest, they're a bad team. It's awfully coached. I was going to go on a rant about Joe Judge on the Fan. I had awful service yesterday, so I couldn't get through. But my goodness, everyone's like, the Giants lost. It's awful coaching is why they lost. 3rd and 20 and 2nd and 20, and you jump off sides both times. How is that? How do you jump off sides twice on 3rd and 20 and 2nd and 20? He's going to try making it 2nd and reasonable and 3rd and reasonable, and they lost the game because of it. After the first one, I would have lost my marbles. Boys, let's not do it again. I would have been yelling in my headset leading into the play call for that 2nd and 20. They ended up turning into a pick, and it's like, he knew it was a pick. No, he didn't. He didn't know it was offsides. Because he would have went down the field. That would have been a pick, and that would have ended the game most likely for the Giants in a victory at Arrowhead. Instead, awful coaching, awful mismanagement of timeouts. You're blaming the headset. Shut up, you freaking goof. Like Joe Judge is a bad coach. I don't care. Daniel Jones looks like a freaking rookie. All over again. I watched it at the LA Rams game, staring receivers down. You get an interception, and you stare a receiver down, and you throw a pick right back. Oh, Giants, they're on
Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp, man.
Probably awful team.
Let's see. Number 28, we have the Miami Dolphins, the dumpster fire Dolphins, who could not acquire Deshaun Watson because they wanted to have the legal issues solved in the 38 minutes exactly. But apparently that was not good enough for Stephen Ross and company. So the saga continues into the winter again for who's going to get Deshaun Watson. We'll obviously be here talking about it.
Of course. That's another story. Please, enough. Like, I don't know why that was even talked about on trade deadline. Like, there hasn't been anything like this. All these acquisition or citations and all that, the reports that came out on him were all in the summer. And all of a sudden we're months in after this and nothing has been talked about. Like, I haven't heard anything about any of his off the field issues here and anything that's getting resolved or what's going on. Nothing. So how did we think in 2 weeks, all of a sudden, because you want to trade for him, all right, hold on, let's get all this paperwork done. Oh my gosh, what's going on with him? Is all this fake? What is going on? Are these real? Like, you thought that was going to get done? No, of course not. That was such a wasted breath, and I'm so glad it's over. I don't have to hear about it till the summer.
Let's see. So number 27, the more disappointing team, the Washington football team. That's probably one of the more disappointing teams on this ranking. Everyone had them really high up, but yikes. Big yikes for them. And then
the Jets should be a little bit lower. That is our next team at 26,
number 26, the new
I'm giving
no,
them
Mike,
respect.
it's Mike White. No, it's the Jets, and then number 25 we have Mike White, because I'm not going to give that number 25 team any lay today. Will not.
I hope they don't get any either here, the Chicago Bears. But yeah, the Jets. They're a little high on our list. Those clearly should slide back down a little bit. But yeah, I'm giving the respect to Mike White and the freaking Jets for beating the Bengals. Love that. Bayou Bengals. Yeah.
Every time you buy into a team, they just fall into the pit of misery.
That's all right, man. I was totally glad. Happy Halloween, boys. Happy Halloween, Bengals. But yeah, 25, we got the Bears. What do we got 24?
24, we got scorer Daryl Patterson and the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan played a very bad game. I mean, that game wasn't really anything too exciting about on Sunday, but Falcons at 24. Calvin Ridley's out for however long, probably the rest of the season. Personal matter. He's clearing up his head. I congratulate him for that, because it takes a lot of guts to just go out there and be like, hey, I'm going to be help myself. And, I'll be back when the time is right. So prayers up for Calvin Ridley and company for him. But Falcons at 24 haven't really played great, but they haven't played bad. It's kind of like the middle of the river. I don't even know what I'm trying to go with there. 23, Indianapolis Colts. I think this is a fair ranking for them.
Yeah,
I am at 22, so this was a very fair ranking for the Colts.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on them. It's just like their defense isn't that good and healthy, and just Wentz, man, freak out moment, and decided to cough up the game, and that's kind of where I'm at with the Colts. 22, we got the Eagles.
Jordan Howard and Boston Scott carried this team to victory on Sunday. Over 100 yards combined of 4 touchdowns. Eagles, I mean, at a 3-1 team, I think they should be a little bit lower, to be honest. I did have them at 23, so we have them kind of like the same area.
Yeah, we got them in the same area code. 21, Seattle.
Very fair.
Yeah, I don't love Seattle. It's just, this is kind of where we kind of expected them all season. They did show early on where it's like, oh, maybe we're wrong, and nope, we're not. They're right around where we kind of had them.
I'm still thinking, Russell Wilson will try to carve back what has been lost into maybe making a postseason run. But if that defense going to continue to play bad, there's no hope for them. Number 19, number 20, the San Francisco 49ers. This has been a very big dud for the 49ers this season, and it's kind of, to say the least. I mean, this is going to be Trey Lance's team at some point, but if they continue to lose, Trey Lance, I could see starting by year's end.
Yeah, that's for sure. Get him some playing time, because it's been disappointing, both those teams in the NFC West in the division. Everyone thought it was the best in football. Yeah, your folks are wrong. That's unfortunate. But yeah, 49ers defense has not put up to the standard like they, were expecting. Getting Nick Bosa back, he's kind of been quiet this season. The secondary is the big issue, and it's, made its mark, and it's going to be exposed again this weekend as the Arizona Cardinals pick them apart.
Number 19. Who do we got?
We got the Vikings, and that's another, they should be lower. I really hate the Vikings. How do you lose to Cooper Rush? Kirk Cousins, everyone's like,
it's kind of like, how do you lose to Mike White? Okay, like the Bengals had a top defense. I mean, obviously they were game planning for Dak, and you can only game plan so much for one quarterback.
It doesn't matter. You still put up points. They didn't put up any points. It's like, okay, Cooper Rush was. It's not like he put up 30-something points. They just couldn't score in Minnesota. It's embarrassing. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins, I'm over that story. It's like, oh, Kurt's having look at the season he's having one of the best of his career. And
it was a primetime game. Give him a break.
As I say, primetime dud again. So I'm over the Vikings. They can literally a lot of these teams can disappear. Once we get to 16 and 15 is where I'm interested in this list. Everyone else can kick rocks. So literally I see 4 weeks of winning or something. I'm over the rest of these teams. Seriously. 18, what do you got?
18, we got the Carolina Panthers, a Christian McCaffrey returning Panthers, as he's expected to play Sunday. So that's a welcoming sight for the Panthers offense, who identity has fallen off from the Dallas game until, whenever they decide to pick it up and just decide to play football again. Defense is a lot stronger, though, so I have to give them credit on that. That kept them in the game against the Falcons this past week. But until, Darnold plays better, this is going to be a very bad sight for the Carolina organization. Number 17, the team that has screwed me out of so much money in betting, the Denver Broncos. 16. Let's skip over them. Who do we got for 16?
We got the Cleveland Brownies. Hey, boys, just in case you're wondering, from the Great Pumpkin or whatever. See, I'm already drunk. Oh. I already missed my joke. Steelers media team hit a home run this weekend. What'd you get? I got a W. Charlie Brown, a great big pumpkin or whatever it is.
The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That's where the that reference is from.
Oh, great. Love to watch it. I was laughing my tail off as Charlie Brown. I got a rock. I was laughing my tail off knowing the Steelers media team ran with that one.
You have to think how long they had that made for. You have to think.
God, someone definitely watched that movie and was like, I got a brand idea. We're playing Halloween. Oh, here we go. We beat the Browns, and they did, and I called that, by the way. The Browns are still a good team. Very disappointing performance from Jarvis Landry, and Nick Chubb was kind of quiet. Steelers ran all over them, and for having I think they were the second best rush defense in the league in the Browns. Steelers ran all over them, and for a team that people question the offensive line, not a good look for the Browns at home.
15, Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. Very big upset this Sunday in SoFi Stadium, to say the least. I was not expecting that. That was not on the bingo card I was given. But Damian Harris, Jacoby Myers found the end zone on a 2-point conversion, so we're inching there for Jacoby. I mean, I'm a big Jacoby fan. I'm rooting for him to get his first touchdown. I can't wait for the celebration he has planned.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He hasn't scored yet. But the Pats, I want to see a little bit more. Herbert struggled with Belichick again. So I want to see if the Patriots could, continue this little run here and see how this trading pulls out. I know people had them as a 7 seed and like, oh my, no, they're not there. But we'll see. This is a team I would like to come back to. Like, hold my beer. I'll come back to you in like 2 or 3 weeks. See how you're looking. See how you've marinated. And that's where I'm at with the Pats.
Let's see. 14.
Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, they should have lost at home to the Giants. And as we know, the Giants are 29 on our rankings. The Giants are not a good football team. Any delusional fan that says, "Oh, the injuries," stop it right now. I don't want to hear it with the Giants. Yeah, Kansas City, they should have lost. They seriously should have. And Mahomes' magic is starting to like fizzle out. All of the little like jump throws.
He's figured out. He's figured out.
It's not that he's figured out. The balls are finally not landing in their favor. Like, it's like the stuff, like it's Madden, like the stuff he was doing. And it's like, oh my gosh, Mahomes, like it's starting to bite him though. Like throwing across the field. No, like that's not like they literally teach you in quarterback class 101. Do not throw across the middle of the field. And he does. And it's starting to find the other team now, so that's why I said Odell Beckham was a really good fit for them if he does get cut. I know the Saints are in. We already mentioned that. But, like, Kansas City needs another receiver. Because Kelsey's kind of disappeared. I love Kelsey. I drafted him. I'm like, oh, let's go. He's fizzled out. Like
him and Kittle, too. Top 2 tight ends. And everyone was drafting in fantasy just kind of evaporated. Well, Kittle's been injured for the past couple of weeks.
But it's Kelsey's, like, kind of, like, disappeared. Like SpongeBob.
Where did you have Kansas City on your rankings? I had them low. I had them at 17. I really just tanked them out.
I had them at what? I think I had them at like 14 or 13. Because just the win, and I think they win this weekend. I kind of have them trending up, even though they shouldn't. But they're gonna find themselves back into it, to be honest, Will. And it sucks to say because I just don't really feel like dealing with Kansas City, to be honest with you, because once they figure it out, it could be scary, but like, yeah, I think 14 is like a fair spot for them because they beat the Browns. So they clearly have to be ahead of the Browns. It's just, I don't know. They're another, I'll come back to you in 2 weeks. If they lose it this weekend, they can literally go in the 20s. I'm over it. They should have lost to the Giants. So if they lose this weekend to the Aaron Rodgers Packers, yeah, they're in the 20s. I don't care. Disappear. And like they're in the abyss. So we'll see what happens this weekend with them.
Let's see, number 13, we got the Chargers. Justin Herbert and company fell off the last 2 weeks after their very hot start against Baltimore and now against New England. They've not been the same team as we once saw prior to Baltimore. Very unfortunate, very weird too. Herbert was on like an MVP-esque run. Now he's average all of a sudden.
Yeah, Belichick has his number, so I don't know what it is. And he was also inaccurate. That Jared Cook missed pass turned into a touchdown. So I'll come back to the Chargers. I still think they're a really good team. That's where they're 13 here, even though they've kind of had a little spiral.
Number 12.
Pittsburgh Steelers. They're four straight, right? Is that what they're on? Yeah, they're 4 straight or 3 straight. I have them on a 5-game win streak coming up here with the Bears and Lions, and then they travel to the Chargers. I called the win this weekend. Their offensive line's great. Who would have thought Steelers outrunning the Browns? With the offensive line for Cleveland and Nick Chubb being back and a full go, you wouldn't have expected the Steelers to outrun the Browns, and they did. The Steelers' offensive line is getting a lot better. This is a team to look out for. This is a team that's going to crack the top 10 in the future. And be aware, folks. They're starting to figure it out, and they're still missing some pieces. Steelers at 12.
Number 11, your BYU Bengals or whatever you freaking call them. I don't even know.
Bayou Bengals.
Bayou Bengals. Okay, well, Bengals, they will definitely be, deep into the top 10 if they didn't lose to the Jets on Sunday, but you can't win every game. You really can't win every game, and it was the most bizarre game too for them to come back on. Eli Apple got helmet targeting, I believe, on Michael Carter, which moved the change, and then that messed it all up for the Bengals. It was a very weird call at the end of the game.
Yeah, Mike Hilton, former Steeler, with a nice helmet-to-helmet hit. So thank you, Mike.
Nice. CTE isn't a joke, Jim.
Yeah, thank you, Mike Hilton. But yeah, this is again expectations. This is what the Browns are. Wasn't huge on the Browns this season. I know they were Super Bowl contenders, this, that, and the other, and the Bengals, who didn't have expectations. So it's going to happen losing to a team like the Jets, because they don't know how to win. Like they're not like they've never had pressure, and now they have pressure because the Bengals have whooped the freaking Ravens. They beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Like the Bengals are like here. So not dealing with expectations, and that happens. It happens. We'll see what happens, how they bounce back after that debacle against Jets. And happy Halloween, folks. If I haven't said it a bazillion times, great Halloween. Love seeing the Steelers and the Bengals lose.
The Steelers and the Bengals lose?
I meant Steelers win.
Oh my God. Oh, good thing you dressed up as a clown for Halloween.
See, you knew what I meant, huh, Honk? You knew what I meant.
Let's see. Number 10. Here's where it gets good. Number 10, the Raiders. I had them at 9.
Yeah, I want to see.
That was pre Ruggs car accident, so.
Yeah, I want to see how. Geez, you lose Gruden, you lose Ruggs. That's a lot of stuff going on for the Raiders. They should win this weekend. Got the garbage Giants,
and they're dealing with their whole COVID situation too. So
yeah, the Raiders here at 10. I want to see how this goes. I don't know what your other thoughts are on it. I want to see how this turns out, because this is a lot for the Raiders to go through, to be honest with you.
I'm going to just skip over that because, well, let's just see what the Raiders can do. They were hot and then they're cold. Now they're getting hot again. So let's see what they go from there. Number 9, the New Orleans Saints. They lose Slant Boy for the rest of the year. And then famous Jameis Winston out for the year, torn ACL. Apparently, Phillip Rivers said he might want to come back to football. If the Saints call, he would love to call and, discuss anything going on with them. So that's a very fun little topic there. But Trevor Siemian is the guy going forward until Taysom Hill is cleared from his concussion that he suffered against the Washington football team, I believe, back in week 5. So that's something there.
Yeah, my thoughts on the Saints are I keep picking against them, and I don't think they're good. And then they own the Bucs for some reason. Like Brady struggles against the Saints.
Brady's only beaten one team that's over 500 this year, and then every other team he's lost against that's over 500. He's only beaten bad teams.
He did beat He beat Dallas. To be fair, I don't know if you mentioned that. That's one. And Dallas.
I'm not even sure. I've read that stat somewhere, so I'm not even sure if that's the right stat to use.
Well, he beat Dallas week 1, and we know what Dallas is, and we'll get to those boys in a little bit. But yeah, it's just the Saints. The Saints will they'll like lose next week or whatever. They'll lose their next team that they're not supposed to, and I'll be like, all right, yeah, I'm over the Saints. This is another team like, what's going on here? So yeah, 8 Baltimore Ravens, coming off an absolute slobber knocker that they took in the chin.
They were on a bye week last week, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they were after they got beat by your BYU Bengals.
Yep.
BYU
That's
Bengals.
what I'm saying. They got slapped around in their last game. See how they come out this weekend.
Again, you can't win every game. This is like the same thing. You can't win every game. Like you're gonna lose games that you're supposed to win, and vice versa. Like, and obviously, I don't think anyone thought they were gonna lose to the Bengals a couple weeks back, but they're in good shape. Lamar's passing a lot more, and he's a lot more accurate now with placing the ball where he has to go to, which is very surprising. I wasn't really too high on Lamar now, but Lamar's climbing up my quarterback ranks. Let's see, number 7. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I had them pretty high. I'm at a 4. That's a mistake by me.
Yeah, no, it's just they're not a top 5 team. It was kind of hard keeping Dallas out of the top 5. But yeah, they're 7. Brady looked bad and had an opportunity to come down and win, and just the fact that they lost that game to a Jameis-less Saints team, and just the Saints shouldn't put that many points up on you, to be honest with you, even if they had Jameis. So it's just they're 7. They're still a good team. Over time they're going to get better, and just not a good game from the Bucs. That's kind of why they're 7 here.
And now the top 6. Number 6 is the Dallas Cowboys. It's very hard to keep them out of the top 5, but there's so many good teams just in this top 5. So it's very difficult to not have them up there. But Dallas at number 6, I think that's very fair. I mean, even without Dak, if this is only for one game, Cooper Rush played phenomenal. What was up with this week? A bunch of backups just playing lights out. Mike White, Cooper Rush, Jimmy Garoppolo magically came back and was top 5 passer for this week. So it's an incredible week. But Zeke played a lot better this past week. I mean, the defense, they lost Diggs for the better portion of that game, I believe, on Sunday, right?
I don't think so.
I think he had a hamstring injury.
Also kind of like fell asleep during it, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, it's just they're a good team, and they'll be in the top 5 next week because there's a team up in this list that I think is going to slide. But I had to give them the respect. I put my money where my mouth was on this team. We'll get to them a little bit. 5 Buffalo Bills struggled a little bit with the Dolphins. I thought the spread was a little too high. They ended up covering it. Buffalo.
I agree with them. I mean, Josh Allen, MVP candidate, but he's been playing really well. Number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals are a weird play because they are just, if this ball went out of bounds, I think this game would have went to overtime. Then fate would have decided what happens next. But AJ Green, as the meme says, retired halfway through his route to where Rasul Douglas, the practice squad hero, comes out, makes the play, and clinches it for Arizona. Arizona's been a really good team this year, although they've been playing a mix of all sorts of teams. As we got Josh here trying to meme, but I can't post his comment here. You're a clown, Josh. But they're a good team at 7-1 now. They're a very good football team, and they only got better with Zach Ertz now being acquired, but losing JJ Watt's a very big piece that they ended up losing. So
that's why I thought Melvin Ingram was a slam dunk for the Cardinals, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure if the Cardinals even hit up the Steelers about him. I thought that would have been a home run for the Cards to slide right next to Chandler Jones, who kind of seemed to get back to his Chandler Jones type things. But yeah, I can't keep them out of the top 5 unless something else happens with them, and it's like, all right, here's a pattern. Let's get rid of this. But they should have won. But hey, man,
Kyler Murray's injured right now. I believe he has a knee injury, but it's between a 1 to 3 week injury, so it's a questionable situation to look at for Sunday for Arizona. If they're playing, I'm not even sure if they're playing or not. Haven't even looked that far. Number 3, the Tennessee Titans. Now, Derrick Henry lists Tennessee Titans.
I got to give them respect, though. I
will give them the respect. I dropped them down, and I shouldn't have. I should have left them in the top 5 like I originally had.
You made it knowing the what's called. So I respect it. I know, I have them a little higher than you did on your rankings. That's why they're here. But I have them here, and they're going to slide. You're going to see a definite decrease in this team offensively without Derrick Henry. That's a huge blow. But I have them here because they did win a game. And I said, let's see what both these teams are. And the Titans pulled it off. So I have to give them the respect. They're 3. This is why it's going to change next week, I'm assuming. And Dallas is going to slide right back in the top 5. And the Titans will slide out, or Arizona. We'll see what happens, both those teams going forward. Number 2, Green Bay Packers. My goodness.
Go Pack, go.
Yeah, this is Aaron Rodgers' list this weekend. But they were without Devontae Adams, Lazard, and Valdez-Scantling last week.
Every target, they lost Tunyon midway through the game.
Yep.
But listen, they're just going to run the ball. They're going to make Kansas City bleed red. They're just going to not stop running that ball.
Yeah, they're going to punch them right in the face, and it's going to be a lot of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon this weekend with Jordan Love at the start. But Green Bay's too. And I know we had some slack on the last time we did our power rankings. We had someone in our comments not too happy where we had the Packers.
We had them at 7.
Yeah, don't kill us. They're at 2. They're good. They're very good. And they did just cut Jalen Smith. So I don't know what the heck's up with that guy. He's taking it downfall after getting paid from Dallas. That's kind of interesting. But yeah. And number 1, the team with the power move at the deadline, the L.A. Rams. Ram it.
Rams house.
Look at that YouTube video. You'll have a nice, fun time watching Ram it. But yeah, L.A. Rams, dude, they're really good. And I have them as my Super Bowl pick for a reason, and I love the Rams. I loved watching them dissect the Giants and some of those throws. Cooper Kupp, my gosh, best receiver in football with Deebo Samuel. Yeah, the Rams are good, dude. I don't know what else to say without beating a dead horse. Your thoughts?
Who's stopping the Rams in the NFC? Like, who's going to? Although they are not, it's hard to think. They're not even a top seed. They are the top wild card seed. They need to beat out Arizona. That's going to be they already beat them. The Rams lost to them once, but looking good in 40. It's going to be interesting to see what he does Sunday, especially against the Titans' questionable offensive line that's been hit or miss for essentially every single game this year. Let's see what's going to happen, okay? Who's going to stop the Rams? That's kind of a stupid comment that I said, but let's see where it goes from here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for the Rams and company. Let's rush this through. Top games and players of the week. Who do you got as some of your top players and games?
Najee Harris in the Steelers offensive line. I called the upset. I'm going to ride the train. Najee Harris, one of the best backs in football. Guy's good at football. And that's Deebo Samuel is another one. He always finds his way to get over like a $150. I don't know what he had exactly this weekend. The guy's just like gross.
He had his Wheaties, that's for sure. His Jerry Rice Wheaties.
Yeah, the guy's good at
vintage.
Football.
Elijah Mitchell too. Elijah Mitchell was a fantastic fantasy pickup. If he's still available in your league, pick him up. He's on my bench in case injuries do arise. So that's something to look at there. My top players, obviously, I'm going to go Mike F. and White. I'm going to go Michael Carter. I'm going to go with the Jets because, man, did you see that touchdown that was called back? Keelan Cole went upstairs, Odell Beckham style. Oh, I would have kept that as a touchdown. I lost it when that happened. But also the gangrene special, too. The Jets played a really good game, and they're just going to suck me into picking them again this week, and I'm going to hate it every single second of it because that's what they do.
Well, it's not a bad pick, to be honest with you, though, because it's a short week. It's not like you had time to watch his tape. Not a bad pick. And, yeah, Michael Carter touched me in fantasy. Was not too happy about that
I like that Jets drafted 2 Michael Carters, the guy from Duke and the guy from UNC. So Michael Carter squared, MC squared. Oh, my Lord. There it is. I'm going to have to make a shirt or something for that. MC squared. Just have both Michael Carter and Michael Carter on it. That's a historic shirt. Historic.
Stop.
Everything connects, okay? It's the planets are aligning. This is amazing. Oh my God. Okay. So let's go into our prediction portion of the week. And this is kind of a weird one. I don't really want to show the graphic, but we're going to show the graphic because, it's bad. Colin had a down week. I had a semi-par week. The lead now extends to 4 for me as 2 weeks in a row. Call me Jacksonville Jaguars. We're winning this one. We're going all the way down. We're taking it home. That's all I'm going to say. We're taking it home. As we are going into Thursday Night Football, the Jets are in Indianapolis.
I'm going to take the Colts.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll take the Jets. I'll take Mike White and the Jets. I got to start Mike White in fantasy because I have Tom Brady that's out, Zach Wilson with the knee. I'm not going to start Darnold against the Patriots because I'm smarter than that. So Mike White gets the QB2 spot in my fantasy league. Him and Justin Herbert will get the spot. Let's go into Sunday here. Cleveland at Cincinnati.
See, this is an interesting one. This is a must-win for the Browns and a get-right game for the Bengals. I'm going to go the Browns in a must-win here. They get it done. Browns over the Bengals.
Well, I'm going to go opposite of you. I'll take the Bengals only because, well, I think it was a fluke game they lost to. Okay, no one expected Mike White to pass 400 yards, which is the second time in NFL history that's happened since 1950. First time since Cam Newton way back when against Arizona in 2011. Las Vegas at the Giants. Should I just fill you in here for the obvious?
Yeah, I was gonna get bought. I was gonna buy it into the Giants here, but I just had a meltdown over the Giants. I clearly can't take the Giants. Yeah, you can just give me the Raiders.
And I'll match you with the Raiders as well. Denver at Dallas. I'm going to fill you in again here because I don't see you being that stupid and picking Denver. Otherwise, if you want to tell me what stupid juice you had, I will honestly let you talk about it.
Oof, wow, that's a low blow. Ooh. But I'm clearly on Dallas. Yeah.
You know what? Let's just call it the dumpster fire game. It'll be the best game of the 1 o'clock hour. Houston at Miami.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Dolphins here.
I'll match you with Miami as well. Atlanta at New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints, and this is one that Atlanta ends up winning. You watch, but yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints.
I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta wins, but I'll take the Saints as well because I just believe in the Saints now. Colin had that inspirational speech. It was like a halftime speech. I'm all in love with him now.
Run through a brick wall?
Yes, I could run through a brick wall. Run through the door that's next to me. New England at Carolina. Okay, this is at Carolina. It's not in New England. This is at Carolina. Christian McCaffrey expected to come back into play here, but we'll see what the time tells.
This is an interesting one. This is one where I can gain one back on you, but I can also lose another one against you. Oh, God, I don't want to do it. I'm going to take the Pats. I think the Pats get it done. I'm really interested in the CMC thing, though. If he plays, I'm kind of in on the Panthers, but I can't do it. Darnold's been bad. I can't buy into it.
I'm taking the Patriots. Okay, Mac Jones. Who's stopping Mac Jones? Predicted him as my 7th seed in the AFC playoffs, and it looks kind of okay. Kind of. Not fully, but it's kind of. Buffalo at Jacksonville. This could be the first time that Josh Allen can sack Josh Allen, and it could be a historic just play all around. I will fill you in for Buffalo because, I'm not going to let you, think that long. Another good one, the Vikings at the Ravens.
Yeah, this is another one that kind of is like, ugh. The Vikings could end up winning it. I would be okay with losing this pick. I'm going to take the Ravens, and please, Vikings win. And let my pick be wrong. I'd totally be okay with going frigging 6-9 again if you end up beating the Ravens, so I'm okay with that.
You'll be shocked about this. I picked Baltimore on this one.
Yeah, so I picked Baltimore too, though. I'm not sure.
I know. I thought you were thinking, I was going to pick the Vikings and you could slide one back. That's what I was thinking.
No, they're not good. We had them on the rankings at 19 for a reason.
It's a 1 o'clock game, so his return to Maryland. I believe this is one of his first games back, but I'm not too sure. I'll just let that slide here. All right, Chargers at Philadelphia.
Oh, it's at Philly? Oh, see.
This is at Philly.
Oh, see, I want to see the Chargers play. That'd be a game I'd kick the tires on going to, but I could have easily just gone to the Raiders game. But, yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers here. Philly blew the doors off of a bad football team. So, yeah, give me the Chargers and it bounce back.
I'll match you with the Chargers, too. One of the hardest games to pick on this week, Green Bay at Kansas City.
Is it that hard, though? Is it the Chiefs should win? Where's this game at?
This game is in Kansas City.
See, the Chiefs should win this, dude. I'm going to take the Chiefs, and I hope I'm wrong. This is another one. I'll gladly be wrong, dude. The Chiefs should win this one.
I'm going to take the Packers, okay? I'm just – This game was hard to pick. This was really hard. I left this one game out when I was trying to write down all my picks. This is the one game I had to leave out because I didn't know which way I wanted to go. Arizona at San Fran. I'll fill you in here because I'll be generous here. I'll fill you in for Arizona. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sunday Night Football. The Tennessee Titans at the LA Rams.
Yeah, you can fill me in for the Rams. I don't know what this team's going to be without Henry. That's kind of the focal point. I'm going to start what's his name, Tannehill, because like he's going to be asked to throw the ball now, like a lot, I think. So, yeah, I'm all in on the Ryan Tannehill fantasy upgrade here. I'm hoping.
I'm going to match you with the Rams too. And then Monday Night Football. I feel bad for the Manning cast for this one. The Chicago Bears at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Go Berg, baby. Here's the run. Here's the run we're waiting for. 4 straight. Give me the Steelers, baby. Steelers.
I'll match you with the Steelers too. Detroit, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Washington are all on their buys this week. And that, ladies and gentlemen, rounds out the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Wherever you're listening to, watching, wherever, make sure you drop a like wherever you are. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, the YouTube page, Twitter page, Facebook, Twitch, Stadium. Look it up. And you can also follow us on our platform, the Play Action Podcast, over on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're getting Twitter a little more active, but we're going to be getting there very, very soon. But you can always find the latest news and updates over on our Instagram page, as I'm always constantly posting about it. Colin kind of gets scared when I'm posting 10 things at a time at 3 a.m. when stuff happens, but it's fun, I have to say. It's absolutely fun doing it.
You're the best there is, Will.
I try to be. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And this is the Play Action Podcast.